Ukraine's ambassador in Wellington has told 3 News that New Zealand needs Ukraine right now more than his country needs New Zealand. Now, it might seem counterintuitive as Ukraine is 3 years into a bloody war with Russia and New Zealand is helping train Ukrainian troops in Britain. But Vasyl Miroshnichenko explained why Ukraine has so much to offer New Zealand in an interview today with senior correspondent Lisette Raymer.
Operation Spiderweb, which saw hundreds of drones hidden in vehicles and infiltrating Russia, that's unprecedented, that sort of operation for Ukraine, isn't it?
It's unprecedented for anybody, for any intelligence services. America's never done it, Israel has never done it, nobody has ever done it. So what we can teach New Zealand, because I now believe, Lisette, you need us more than we need you. You need our defense industry, you need to learn from the modern warfare, and you need to learn on asymmetric warfare. And we will be very keen to share that knowledge with New Zealand Defence Forces, with New Zealand intelligence forces, because what we have learned and the way we also built up a defence industry, you could benefit a great deal. And the fact that your government has now increased defence spending, I hope they will be able to buy some of the weapons in Ukraine, some of this new modern technology, the drones, the autonomous systems on the ground, in the air, underwater.
What do you know about where the ceasefire process is at?
It's not on the horizon at all. Russians are currently advancing at a very high speed. Huge casualties, of course, on their behalf. It's just been now 1 million casualties for Russia recorded, both wounded and killed.
How many Ukrainians have lost their lives?
Well, the numbers are much lower than the Russian ones because we are on a defensive. We're not releasing the statistics.
There is no figure publicly?
No figure publicly.
How committed is Ukraine to getting a ceasefire?
Ukraine is committed. Ukraine has accepted that unconditional ceasefire. European leaders have supported that. We're putting pressure on Russia, but Russians refuse to do that.
What concessions would Ukraine make?
Ukraine has already made the biggest concession ever. We lost so many people. We're fighting for democracy. We're fighting for human rights. We're fighting for rules. What concessions should we make?
Well, there are leaders around the world and analysts and international law specialists who suggest that it could be time, it is time for Ukraine to consider making concessions when it comes to territory.
But territory is not what Russia wants. Russia wants Ukraine destroyed entirely. Russia wants to control Ukraine entirely. They don't want territory.
So you don't believe that if Ukraine presented a proposal to Putin that you're able to keep the land that you currently occupy, that would be accepted?
We can't do it. It's a Ukrainian constitution, and the president does not have a mandate.
It felt like last time we spoke, there was a sense that this war would end this year, or a hope. Does that hope still exist?
Well, everything is up to Donald Trump, to be frank, and President Putin, actually.
It is interesting, though, that Donald Trump was the first name you mentioned there in terms of this war ending. Is he the most powerful player at the moment in these negotiations?
100%, and we must ensure that he's involved. And we believe it's in American interest to make sure that Russia does not get away with this easily, right? They need to stop. We need to force Russia to stop. You see, Russia is not stopping.